On heavy-duty vehicles, especially diesel engines, it's really important to make sure that you have your antifreeze checked every so often. Probably once a year would be good. Some of this you can do yourself, and actually most of it you can do yourself. So this is Wicks filters, 50 test strips for measuring freeze point, nitrate, and pH in your antifreeze coolant system. And so what happens is, the pH gets off and it deteriorates as time goes by, and these test strips tell you what you need to do to recondition the antifreeze, or to get to the point where you need to change it. And it's cheaper to do it this way than it is to do another way. Many of you might know that I worked in the transportation industry, but I've been retired for 10 years. And one of my golden rules was, in our fleet of 1,200 buses and over 2,000 vehicles, was never mix fluids. And that came home to roost here recently, where after I retired, while I was working, they came up with long life antifreeze for heavy duty vehicles, and we still had vehicles that had, the regular service life antifreeze in them. And so the manufacturers assured us that it was okay to mix the two, and I was never in favor of mixing that, and so I didn't allow it. But after I left, they started taking a less stringent approach about it, and they started mixing them. And shortly after they started mixing them, they were getting these pinholes in the heater hoses all throughout the buses, and they had to go through and replace the heater hoses on practically the entire part of the older fleet. And that was because the antifreeze, the new antifreeze, long life stuff, mixed with the old stuff, was causing a deterioration of the rubber hose, and it was a pretty serious problem. So to test your antifreeze, there are two kits you can buy. You can buy one for the old stuff, the old regular kind of antifreeze, and you can buy one for the new. And so this is for the old, and you get in the kit, you get a little dropper to pull the antifreeze out, and you get a little vial to put it in, and then you get 50 test strips, and I'll show you how the test strips work. And then you get this chart to see what kind of servicing it needs to have, and then you change the filter or change the antifreeze depending on what the level of deterioration is. So let me show you the filter. So added to this bus was not original is this water filter, and this is a Wicks filter 24071. A 24070 is a filter that you would use with brand new antifreeze and has no additives in it. As the numbers go up, the amount of additives also goes up, and the chart will tell you which filter you have to buy based on the size of the system that you have and the amount of deterioration that's occurred to the antifreeze that you have. And so you can figure that out. This is a very large system, so I don't even remember what it is right now, but when I purchased it, I did the calculation on it, and we had to get that one, which is a one step up to replenish the nutrients in the antifreeze system to keep it from deteriorating the lines and keep the pH balanced and the nitrates at the right level. So this is a test strip, and I had just taken it out. I usually put it on a pair of vice grips like this so that I don't drop it in the tank, and it tests the nitrate, the glycol level, and then on this side the pH. And so it starts out dry looking like this, and then you dip it for a second or two, get it good and wet, shake it off, comes out, shake it off, and it changes colors. And so now, I'm shaking it off there, you can see that we're right at the middle. If you get up here, it's replaced. If you get down here, it's replaced, but in the middle is where you want to be for nitrates, which is pretty close to right in this range here. I'd say it is really right in the middle. Okay, then for glycol, we have protection. It's either the bottom one or the next to the bottom one. And by the way, I use heavy duty antifreeze that you should use in a diesel engine, and this comes pre-mixed. And I do that because I don't like to mix tap water or whatever, because it has minerals in it, and this is already scrubbed so that it's good and clean. So our glycol level is good to minus 34 degrees. And then our pH, which is the final chart in the final tab on this little strip, looks to be right about also in the middle. I hope you can see this. I'll move the camera around a little bit. And that's at 8.0. Again, this is replace or refresh with a new filter, but I don't think you really should. You should probably, when it gets to either of the extremes, change the antifreeze. And so it looks like we're in pretty good shape.